Hi, my name is Kristen Jeter, and I'll be auditioning for the role of Shamika in Polar Bears, Black Boys, and Prairie Fringed Orchids.
Us elevating ourselves above nature is just as wrong as us elevating ourselves above each other. It's a license to disrespect and kill anything that you think is less than you. That's what those cops did on a Harlem playground. That's what's happening to black boys. That's what's happening to polar bears and prairie fringe orchids.
Say it.
Don't, Molly.
Say it.
I don't mean it the same way those people screaming it back at Jaquan in the streets.
All lives matter. Say it.
All lives do matter. Can we stop talking, Molly? I've seen an elephant calf nudge its dead mother for over an hour after poachers killed her. The adult in the herd would pull the calf away, but it would run back to nudge its dead mother each time. That's not instinct, that's grief. Can we please stop talking? No, we can't. We don't have that privilege anymore. I'm trying to save our son.
It's not by getting him on an endangered species list. It's by getting people to see him, not what they think they see. What do you see when you come into the bookstore? When you see me? Every time you come into the Frederick Douglass, you ask me if my boss is here. Is now a good time to talk? You got all the imagination in the world for grieving elephants, but you can't imagine that someone who looks like me could be owning a bookstore. It's my bookstore, and it never even crossed your mind. It's just what Rita was saying. Your limited view of us is what helped get a 12-year-old black boy killed inside a park.
That's not true or fair.
Someone called 911 and reported a black man in the park with a gun. They saw a 12-year-old boy as a grown man. I'm not saying it was you, but it was someone who looked like you. Someone who isn't living in Harlem, but's living in Soha. Along with the fruits and vegetables and Shake Shack, your white bias moved into our neighborhood too. Hi, my name is Kristen Jeter, and I'll be reading for the role of Alice in Apologies to Lorraine Hansberry, you too, August Wilson. I have made it clear that I am a chef, so this is obviously one of those highly theatrical moments where a character steps outside of the world of play to relay some information to you. And well, if that wasn't obvious, luckily I have plainly stated it, so we're all on the same page. Why do it in this way and not neatly tuck it into the world of play, maybe in some intense moment of dialogue? Well, because y'all don't listen. Y'all like to pretend like you missed it. So here I am in a tweed jacket giving you more exposition. I know it's exposition, you know it's exposition, but here we are. I believe in your programs there's a blank page where you can take notes. It's not my fault if you didn't bring a pencil to a play. How are you going to take notes in your program? How are you going to get my autograph? Ready? So, our histories are similar in the beginning. Christopher Columbus still sailed the ocean blue, although it's important that y'all know that he never actually stepped foot in the United States, so I don't know why we're so obsessed with including him in our history books, but leave out, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which totally happened in the United States. Anyway, slavery still happened. Thanks for that. No, I have not forgotten or forgiven. But here's where it gets tricky. Abraham Lincoln ran against Frederick Douglass, who was pretending to be a white man. Frederick Douglass won and became the 16th president of the United States. He wrote into law that all slaves should be freed, point blank, and should be paid for their labor. Well, as you can imagine, a lot of people didn't like that. So, the Civil War happened. The North won. All slaves were freed and given 40 acres and a mule. Well, sorta. Frederick Douglass wrote a law that said that all slaves were entitled to 40 acres and a mule, but Congress pushed back, saying that there wasn't enough land. So then it was each family got 40 acres and a mule, and family was loosely defined. Like, if your fifth cousin twice removed got land, then you ain't getting no land. And we all know how trifling cousins can be. So what happened was the elite class of landowning black folk hired the lower class of black folk to work for them. Frederick Douglass didn't like that, but Frederick Douglass, it really didn't matter because he got shot during one of his speeches, and his security did nothing about it because people discovered that he was black just days before. It was an open secret, but people are slow. After that, white people went wild. I mean, let's be real, white people are always doing wild shit, but this was one of those peak moments. They burned down the land that the slaves were given so that nothing could grow on the land again. They said they'd rather destroy the soil than let a nigger have it.